Hey, just a note. This is a parody slash me trying to revamp or update a bit of Tier Zoo's dinosaur tier list because I feel like some of them is a bit outdated and some of them could have been a higher tier, and I also added more because yes. Hello there. If I sound tired, it's early in the morning and I decided to stay up all night. There's nothing much else I could say. Have a good video. Anyways, I'm gonna go take a nap. Okay, let's get to it. So I don't have a physical representation for like Camptosaurus or Dryosaur, but I don't feel like they belong in F tier, so I'm just gonna say my thoughts on this. I don't think they belong in F tier for two reasons. One, they're an essential part of the ecosystem. If they disappear because they're too trash, according to Tier Zoo or whatever. I mean, not. I feel like I feel bad for. Fuck. I mean, they are F tier according to Tier Zoo, but I beg to differ. You see, Camptosaurs and Gyrosaurs are an essential part of the ecosystem. Blah blah blah. This is like the second time I'm recording this because I accidentally clicked something else. Anyways, Camptosaurs and Gyrosaurs are an essential part of the ecosystem. Without them, the ecosystem would collapse. And I don't think dinosaurs belong in F tier because they evolved a long way. So if any of them belong in F tier, it would be Homolocephaly. Not Camptosaurus or Dryosaur. No, it's Homolocephaly would be the reason why I would say not all dinosaurs belong in F tier. Because Homolocephaly is literally just cannon fodder. But again, since I'm grouping Homolocephaly with its more buffer cousins, he's going in a different tier. Anyways, bye. Oh, but don't think Homolocephaly's bigger brethrens don't get him out of D tier. Because that's where this bastard comes in. Yes, I'm using him as a physical representation. Dragged him out of horny jail for this. If you know, you know about my character. If you know about my characters, you know. If you don't know, then just think of this as a random Pachycephalosaurus toy for representation. If you know about my characters, just think of him as the character, but he somehow got out of his jail. Anyways, so low part of D tier, we have this bastard. This is supposed to represent this is supposed to represent all of the bald brothers, which is what I'm referring to the Pachycephalosauridae or whatever they're called. The Pachycephalosaurids, Sauridae. I don't know the scientific term for the group of Pachycephalosaurid thingies. The ones with the weird head shapes. Pachycephalosaur. I know their names, I just don't know the classification that they fall into. Is it megalocephaly something? I don't know. I know some of them, not all of them. Anyways, so I put this guy in low D tier specifically because of two dinosaurs in this category, Dracorex and Homolocephaly. I explained for Homolocephaly, but let me explain for Dracorex. He doesn't have the signature bald head that helps him fight enemies because like all they have is long spikes and a flat head. They don't have the bulbous bump on their forehead to give them that signature ramification. And of course, because since this is a somewhat parody revamp thingy for Tierzoo's dinosaur tier list, and if Tierzoo wants to take inspiration from me, go ahead. I'll let you do that. I'm a small YouTuber anyways, so it wouldn't really matter. Like, what was I supposed to do anyways? So this guy, uh, what was I say? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, for Dragonrag, he literally does not have the bulbous head to help fight enemies. And in the spirit of this parody thingy that I'm doing for the Tier Zoo, I of the Tier Zoo dinosaur tier list video, I shall list abilities. So they have the headbutt ability. They mainly spec into very hard skulls in order to ram their enemies full force at top speeds. Um, there's nothing much else I could say about them. I mean, it's literally just a Camptosaur or Dryosaur with a very smooth-brained head, literally and figuratively. And of course, we have the last one in D tier, which is kind of explanatory. Early dinosaurs. I'm categorizing all the first dinosaurs into a category I call the early dinosaurs. This category includes Eoraptor, Coelophysis, and Herrerasaur, or however you pronounce it, Herrerasaur. Now the reason why I rank them higher than the Apaches is because they have a certain ability that allows them to survive longer without food and water, but that doesn't mean they're immune to starvation or death of thirst depletion. That's still a valuable threat, and for Coelophysis' case, reverts for them to backstab their fellow kin. And for Herrerasaur, they literally just hunt them down, I guess. Hunt other early dinos, creatures. They mainly live in the jungle parts, which is why they're the upper. Which is why why Herrerasaurus is carrying this category, making them in an upper part of D tier. Also because they have a more refined bite with bigger hand claws. Their arms are more opposable than other dinosaurs, but that will be mitigated if they have certain abilities. We'll get to that group later. But other than that, yeah, that's all I can say about this category for last part of D tier. Anyways, new background, new tier. Let's do this. All right, on to C tier. Okay, on the lowest part of C tier, we have the Machikosaurus and anything that is similar to Machikosaurus. These guys are small crab-eating dinosaurs that live off of rivers, marshlands, and sometimes the beach, if I remember correctly. They are mainly what would you call something that mainly eats crabs and scrap pieces of meat? Would you call them a scavenger or a crabivore or insectivore? or crustaceivore. Is crustaceivore even a thing? Oh, let me look that up. Okay, it's not a thing, thank God. Anyways, yeah. Also, their children get killed by giant frogs called Beelzebufo. You can look that up for yourself because I don't feel like doing that for you. Other than that, they're just a pretty mid creature. They have a bite and a claw attack. Their special abilities, well, a special ability, there's only one really, is that they spec mainly into adaptation for life on beach sides. Anyways, off with you. Let's get to the next one. Embellisaurs. Now, Embellisaurs in general are a very mid tier. They don't have long claws for claw-like attacks, but what they do have is a very thick skull and a very bone-crushing bite. They're basically like hyenas, but bigger. And that's really saying something. They mainly eat what they kill, but will revert to scavenging if left to their if it's the only food in the area, or if they're just desperate and can't find anything to kill, really. And of course, the reason why they're not higher than this is because there are better tiers out there. This is just a very mid tier, but a bit higher than Mashikasaur because they're not restricted to certain biomes. No, these guys will adapt to literally everything. They're basically the cockroaches of dinosaurs. It's just if cockroaches could still die to stuff, yes, I still think cockroaches are just invincible because seriously, like what the fuck, I keep on killing cockroach. Whenever I kill a cockroach, it's like 50 more spawn in this place. Why am I getting off? Why am I talking about cockroaches? This is a dinosaur video. What the fuck am I doing? Oh, right. Embellisaurs. Yeah, they're pretty mid-tier. There are some that are decently strong, like Carnotaurus and Picnonemosaur. Picnonem. The Carnotaurus from Wish on Path of Titans. That thing. If you know about the game of Path of Titans, then you know about what creature I'm talking about. Anyways, Embellisaurs are just a decent mid tier, which is why they are here in C tier. Anyways, next critter. You are going to Brazil. I don't have a full-sized Allosaurus figure, so this tiny midget will have to do. If he can stand. Seriously, I tried to make him stand. Here, I'll just hold him. So, Allosaurus. Allosaurus. Well, basically, Tirzu explained it best himself. It's a very mid tier. Oh my god, I finally got him to stand. Okay, this is a very precious moment. Because of the carpet wrinkles, it's very hard to make these small bastards stand unless if they have 4 legs. How would I know this? Well, we'll get to that. Anyways, Allosaurus is very mid-tier, and there's nothing else I can say about it because Tirzu would explain it more, if not better, than I could and would ever explain. Which is just a more reasonable way of saying go watch his vids. Stupid fucking ant. Get the fuck away from my Allosaurus, you stupid fucking ant. Yeah, go the fuck away. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what else to say for this. They're very decent creatures. That's all. Next is Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus. Stegosauridae? Which also involves this bastard, but we will get to him. But, so Stegosaurs are very okay creatures. Here, I'll just use the bigger representation. So you don't get bored staring at a midget for the entire time. A midget dinosaur. I'm not against midgets, though. I'm just saying that's a really fucking small dinosaur. Anyways, this is Miragaia. It's a stegosaur, so it counts. It's a type of stegosaur, so it counts. Anyways, let me tell you why they're pretty fucking mid. Although Tier Zoo explained it better, I will try my best. So they have low IQ. Their brains are the size of walnuts. If their brain was the size of Walmart, they would be geniuses. What am I saying? Anyways, yeah, their brains are the size of walnuts, and they are the dinosaur world's equivalent of a literal smooth-brained, drunken rabbit kid who had too much sugar in the morning. Oh no, they fucking did it. Where the okay. Then I thought that ant crawled up the leg of my dinosaur. Why the fuck is there ants in my room to begin with? Anyways, they're pretty mid. They have low IQ. They can't escape from predators if the table's turned in the predator's favor. And their only defense is that their plates make it harder for them to bite onto them. Some have shoulder spikes like Miragaia, others don't, so they can't really protect their shoulders that well. It depends on the species, really. And their main form of attack... Man, I'm still tired from staying up all night. Their main form of attack is mainly on their tail, which is also their ability. They're thecomizers. Some have more than others, like Miragaia. And they are used for smacking the shit out of anything that touches them, but because they are so smooth brain, it's going to be hard for them to use it unless if the predator is directly behind them or to the sides of them. Closer to the back, like the sides of here, not this side. If it was that side, then they're fucked. Well, unless if they have shoulder spikes like Miragaia. Anyways, the final part of this tier is the one that makes the most sense, awkwardly enough, to be in this tier compared to its kin. Nodosaurids. They're basically ankylosaurids, but without the one thing that makes ankylosaurids actually good, and that is the tail club. They are missing the tail club. This is what makes them, in my opinion, C tier. They literally only can either ram you with their spikes or hope that the defenses will hold their defensive stats will hold off long enough for the predator to literally just give up. So you could argue for them being D tier. I could have put them lower. Because of their defense stat, they had to go here, but because they literally cannot defend themselves properly without accidentally or maybe hurting themselves in the process, there's no higher ranking I could give to this bastard except for C tier. He's just an FU to his entire family tree. Alright, next. You might be wondering, where is the Spinosaurid, the Spinosaurus and Edmontosaurus? Well, I put them in B tier specifically because of new information found, which is why I said it's a bit outdated at this point. Now, new information found. Anyways, next creature, and also we're in B tier now. Okay, Hadrosaurs. What do I have to say about them? I mean, it's not like Tier Zeus said. They don't see a predator and run for their lives and hope that their tankiness will protect them. No. They actually throw hands if the situation gets tough. Because they've actually killed Rexes before. Although, unlike lions and zebras, the Rexes will usually win in the end, but they do not make it easy, just like real-life zebras. Because real-life zebras will get killed by lions a lot, but every once in a while a lion will have to explain to its ancestors, as a wise man once said, every once in a while a lion will have to explain to his ancestors why he just got killed why he just got his jaw knocked to Jerusalem by a good stroke of quality donkey. As a wise man once said. Yes, that was a quote from Casual Geographics. I hope that single line does not get copyrighted by him. Anyways. Yeah, and any sort of hadrosaur, except for Canthosaurus and other small hadrosaurs, like the ones living off the island, on that one island where they get killed by a giant bird, aka the giraffe with wings. Besides those exceptions, they're pretty well-rounded. They will throw hands, they do have a body count, but they are not the best and will still get killed time to time. It's literally just if you know about Casual Geographics and you know a lot about zebras from Casual Geographics, Edmontosauruses are basically zebras coated lizards who decided to be zebras, basically. They move in herds, they're bastards at their core, they're unpredictable, and they are very aggressive when it comes to predators. Unlike the zebras, though, they will care for each other and will protect their young, which gives them a survival boost of reaching to adulthood, which is why their herds are found in the thousands. Now, if they were exactly how Tirzu described them, their herds would not be in the thousands, and we would barely know anything about most of the hadrosaurs. But because they're so fucking they're so bastardly at their core, and because of the way they behave and act and how they protect their young, their herds are in the thousands, and we know a lot about them now. Anyways, on to the Spinosaurids, because I have a lot to say about those bastards. Spinosaurids. Yes, I'm using Irritator as an example because I don't have a good Spinosaurus toy. Now, Spinosaurids in general, I am grouping Baryonyx, Suchomimus, Irritator, Siamosaurus, and Spinosaurus, all together in their category of the Spinosaurids, as their classifications are. Now, let me tell you why these guys are a bit better than the way Tier Zoo described them. Yes, while they are somewhat weak, because while they are somewhat competitively screwed over because they've spec'd mainly into fishing, well, their stats are a bit off in the video as well, basically. They're a bit more tankier than suspected, and have been known to attack pterosaurs out of the sky due to new information of finding pterosaur remains. I mean, not pterosaur, I mean bones of pterosaurs with Spinosaurus tooth and marks. Yes, these guys grab birds out of the sky. So I don't think they would be murked off due to poor food selection. No. They're able to kill small creatures that get too close to the water, fish, and the pteranodons from the sky, or if they get too close to the water. So, yeah, they're pretty well rounded, and it's also speculated that the Spinosaurus survived longer than expected for their extinction due to a few alleged bones of the Spinosaur being earlier. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But other than that, they are a pretty decent tier. They're more tankier than Tier Zoo put it on their little stat chart, and a little bit more powerful. They are an apex predator in their respected biome. And of course, I can't really do anything about that, really, anyways. Okay, next one. Okay, so let me tell you why why velociraptors aren't in this tier as well. Whilst, yes, they are intelligent, and yes, they are pack hunters, and yes, they survived until the case T extinction, and yes, they are an okay species. It's just they're not tanky. I mean, they could survive falls from ridiculous heights, as shown in Prehistoric Planet, but they're not tanky when it comes to other dinosaurs. Like, sure, you can survive a fall from 50 feet because of your feathers. Sorry for this one not having feathers. I don't have a feathered raptor toy because Beasts of the Mesozoic is too expensive for me right now. But other than that, yeah, anyways, well, yes, falling from 50 feet and you somehow survive because of your fluffy feathers does mean you can survive falls. It does not mean you can survive getting your jaw split in half by a prehistoric jungle goose that decided to slash your jaw open because you got too close to them. Or worse, getting turned into a breakfast due to a random Tarbosaurus who decided to wake up and choose violence. It does not protect you from that. Also, if you decide to pick a fight with the wrong creature, whether it be a very aggressive Protoceratops or a dumb raptor thinking they could take out an Amontosaurus and win. That's like putting a mongoose against a blue whale. You're not going to win. It's going to crush him in 5 seconds. Anyways, Tirzu already explained why Therizinosaurus is also in B tier, so I don't have to go much into detail about them. Let's just know that they're high D tier, higher than Spinosaurus, but higher than the Raptor, but lower than Spinosaurus. For one reason, it's estimated that their claws are actually weaker than we suspected. Other than that, they're pretty much set and they're pretty much good in this department. They're pretty decent. Alright, next creatures. Let's do this. We are now in A tier. Alright. Okay, so for the lowest part of A tier, I'm putting Concavinator and other creatures that are similar to Concavinator in playstyle besides Allosaurus. This guy basically acts like Allosaurus, but does his bullshit better. He has a better defensive stat by a tiny bit, is a bit faster, but the key factor that makes him a higher rank than Allosaurus is that he has more points in a stronger bite. So not only he has a similar ramification on its head where they could potentially use their head as a battling ram, but they also have a stronger bite and also bigger and longer arms to grasp and reach at prey. And unlike Allosaurus, they can sprint for longer. This is the only reason why they are in A tier. Besides that, I have nothing else to say about these bastards. Next up is Triceratops. I'm pretty sure he explained why Triceratops is in a tier he is. If he... in the tier he is in... there isn't really much I could say about it. I did put him in a lower part of A tier due to Zuniceratops and Protoceratops being weaker than other known Triceratopsids. But other than that, it's just still A tier, and there's nothing much has changed. If you watch Tier Zoo's video about the dinosaur tier list, then you know. Next up is a newcomer for this category, just like Machikosaurus. We have the Megaraptorids. I wanted to add these guys in A tier for a good reason. They're basically intelligent. They're basically a couple of the previous tiers mixed into one body. They have the sharp, longer claws of a Therizinosaur, the heavier stamina, the longer stamina build of the Concavinator, a somewhat intelligent brain, and somewhat of a pack-behaving behavior, the Velociraptors, a stronger bite similar to that of Abelisaurs and Allosaurus, and have a stronger tanky build similar to that of the Spinosaurids. They're basically a jack-of-all-trades type of dinosaur. And they're also very adaptable, and they come in many different shapes and forms. The most popular of which being the Mayat Metriforax, which I do not have as a figure. There is others, although I keep on forgetting their names because their dinosaur names are getting too complicated nowadays. Yeah, he's in A tier because yes. Also in A tier, we have what Nodosaurs wanted to be. A juggernaut. Ankylosaurids, like Ankylosaurus eoplocephalus and other ankylosaurids with the signature ability of having a fucking wrecking ball attached to their goddamn tail. These creatures are the main bane of existence. Triceratopses and ankylosaurs are the main reason why T-Rex is in A tier. It's because they have well competition, and because the creature in S tier will not allow T-Rex to be in S tier without going down without a fight. Also, because if T-Rex was an S tier, I would be ranked as a T-Rex fanboy. I am not a T-Rex fanboy. I am a Spinosaurus man, a agricultural Spinosaurus man, but I come in here with no bias whatsoever for this fucking tier list. Other than that, yeah, ankylosaurs are basically wrecking balls that are living tanks that actively kill Rexes who dare think it's a good idea to fight them. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Give me a sec while I actually make the Rex. Okay, I gave up on making the T-Rex stand because fuck this. Anyways, T-Rex is in the highest part of A tier for being a perfect alpha predator, basically. But they are still viable to being killed by other creatures, which is why they are not in S tier. That belongs to a different creature that gets killed way less often and kills way more than it needs to do. The only creature in S tier. Sauropods. Sauropods are tanky, no good bastards that kill anything that dare tries to vibe check them, because they are the lord and the law of the land. And anything that has a pulse will get vibe checked by them if they dare test them. They are basically hippos and elephants mixed into one. Intelligence and a homicidal mind. They actively kill their own kind if their kind tries to fight them, and only because they need breeding rights. And they are very dangerous. Everything else is explained a lot better by Tierzu. I'm just exaggerating this a bit. But seriously, sauropods are just a menace to society. The dinosaur society, basically. Anyways, that's the end of the tier list. This is all I can really say and add. And this is the best I can update it due to recent information about all these creatures via new advances and technological research on these creatures. Anyways, but I'll have you have the outro with Dagon now. Oh boy, that was a fun 38-minute video, wasn't it? I'm very sleep deprived now. I shall go take a nap now. Bye.